Well, how lovely. I end up falling apart this time around with a 5-10-1 record in this week's predictions. So now I'm under 500, and the coin actually managed to get his first win over the season. So that brings the total to 45 points. Please be nice to me this next time around. Please. And this time around, we actually got a whole bunch of, as you can tell, variety of games here. And we're kicking things off with Thursday Night Football between the Seahawks and the Cardinals with a battle to try to keep up with the 49ers for the division. It's totally going to be sloppy, right? Cardinals going to be weakened now. Seahawks are definitely going to be relying on McDonald's. Yeah, without that much consistency, it's going to come down to who's going to end up winning. I guess because there's home field advantage involved, I could go with the Cardinals. That's really the only reason here. Home field advantage. That's really it. Welcome to Dublin, Ireland, where there's going to be all kinds of drinking involved, and there's definitely going to be some Vikings going around. But how well will it fare unless they're the designated road team against the designated home team and endless Steelers bullshit? I wonder how this will go. The Vikings are also getting Jordan Addison back from suspension, so that might actually help them out a little bit. Though it seems like Carson Wentz will likely be the starter again. At least things are looking up for JJ McCarthy. He might actually get some more playtime. Well, Aaron Rodgers even bothered to show up again. I don't remember if the Vikings played the Jets at any point against Aaron Rodgers or anything. I actually don't remember the last time Aaron Rodgers did well in an international game. If this turns out to be a big weakness, it'll be the Vikings. But if he ends up showing out, it'll go to the Steelers. Honestly, I'm inclined to say that there's going to be endless Steelers bullshit yet again. Hooray for the myth of parity! We gotta keep the standard going, boys! And now we get to the actual Sunday games that people are going to be focusing on. Commanders are looking to keep things rolling as they take on the Falcons. And do we really trust the Falcons in this situation, even if it's at home? Sorry, but Commanders end up taking this one without question. Falcons once again Falcon in the good old NFC South football. And we also get more NFC South football as, yeah, this one ain't a competition either. Can we just go ahead and call it a season for the Saints? I mean, come on, you're facing the Bills. Can't be that hard. And then the Browns are probably going to keep this one a close one against the Lions. This is going to be very tough for both sides. As much as the Lions got that impressive win, they also can't take any opponent lightly. And what happens if they go up against Cleveland? Honestly, just solely based on home field advantage, I think the Lions get it done. Plus, they have a better roster overall. They seem to really not be missing Ben Johnson much. And honestly, without how Jared Goff can be, it's gonna be him messing up more or Joe Flacco messing up more. I think Flacco can only do so much. I think he'll be the one that messes up more. Tank ball season is officially starting early as the Texans, who seem to have been playoff contenders very early and basically a shoe-in for the division, are suddenly finding themselves winless against another winless team that are simply way worse. Now, what does this mean? Do they really miss Slovic? Maybe. Is CJ Stroud really not meshing well? Well, regression can happen at times. It probably got delayed. But time will tell if he fully becomes the answer in Houston. It also doesn't help that there are injuries going on. Cam Ward is still a rookie. All kinds of shenanigans are bound to come out as the goal is to lose the game. Is D'Amico Ryans in over his head? Is Brian Callahan really indeed a bad coach? Well, he actually is a bad coach. But at the end, somebody has to win the game. And surely the Texans, I'm almost at times for a bit. Times are probably going to be the faltering ones again. Surely the Texans can get the job done against a division rival, right? You're not gonna blow this one again, right, Texans? Right? Let's see how much we can speed run through the rest of these as we get the Panthers and Patriots. Honestly, the Panthers really aren't that good still. There are plenty of other issues still going on with the team. And the Patriots will once again assert dominance because it's the Patriots. Yes, they've been dead for a while, but they're still looking to try to rebound. Unless Drake May, for some reason, can't seem to do anything. That'd be such a thing. And, well, hey, Derp, it finally turns out that you're gonna give Jackson Dart a starting role. Too bad you had to pick an awful game to give him, as now he has to deal with the Chargers and get thrown to the Wolves against Harbaugh, the Gems. Definitely Harbaugh, the Gems. Just take this L and get out of here. And this is probably going to end up being the most competitive one. And Evans is going to be hurt. It's going to be a back and forth, probably. Do I really care to even predict this one? I do think that eventually Todd Bowles is going to get exposed. Well, Nick Sirianni is going to eventually get exposed too. So both teams are not safe either. But I think the first one that gets exposed is Todd Bowles and good old NFC South football as the Eagles end up getting the win on the road. Because why not? It's gonna end up being Todd Bowles. He's bound to lose games. And then we get the Jaguars going all the way to the West Coast to play the 49ers. All the way to the West Coast. There's a recurring theme with the Jaguars with the West Coast. Every time they have to go all the way to the Pacific, they tend to struggle. Those struggles continue here as they end up completely falling apart against the 49ers. And how lovely. Colts, I can't believe that they are already off to a strong start. I bet it's mostly because of Jonathan Taylor and not because of Danny Derps. Why would anybody want to trust Danny Derp? I guess the Colts are, as they're not really trusting Anthony Richardson at this point. But against the Rams, they have a more complete roster. It's just plain simple. They just have a more well-rounded roster than the Colts. So I think this is the day the Colts fall. And now, what was probably expected to be a strong match is now just Battle of 1 and 2s that's not even gonna get much excitement because boringness tends to be the thing and the Chiefs get away with more shenanigans, ref ball, endless crap. And I think, I don't know if Rashee Rice is still out on suspension or not. If he's still out on suspension, he'll be back after this week. So he's probably going to come back at the right time soon enough. Go figure. But hey, we get Bears Raiders. Why do I have to pick this game? Why do I have to? You seriously want me to pick a winner for this? You know what? This might end up being one of those rare weeks with how these teams are being stacked up. Only question is, do I want to exercise it? The answer is no, I'm not going to exercise it. Geno Smith is definitely going to be better than good old McCaskey goodness. He's still better than good old McCaskey goodness. You can believe whatever you want. Raiders are probably going to take this one in a home field advantage. Maybe Tom Brady won't announce his little Saudi thing in the middle of the game this time. But what is going to be primetime television for Sunday Night Football? Micah Parsons' revenge game against the Cowboys, and isn't it obvious? Packers take this one only because of Micah Parsons' revenge. They definitely are hungry. And why not celebrate it? On what is essentially Lambeau Dallas. Well, how's it going, boys and girls, and welcome to a Monday night edition of Tank Bell. And this time around, we got ourselves another divisional one. How about the Jets? Continuing to be the Jets. Nothing's always going well for them. Everything remains the same. Now, how about our new contender, the Miami Dolphins? Might as well make sure that it spells yummy instead of Miami. And they're definitely sounding like yummy right now, as they can't stand a dumb jack shit. Can't seem to even close out the games they even score points in. Have fun! Way to blow a game! There's better a bit there. Yeah, definitely sounds like Mike McDaniels right there. And how better way to make this be a Monday nighter than to have it end in a tie? Yes, that's right, folks. Let's have this tank ball end in a tie, and everybody's left disappointed with no better draft positions whatsoever. This is definitely going to become a recurring thing for these teams. Tune in next week as they fall further under the radar and implode on themselves even more. I wonder how long it'll be before Mike McDaniels gets fired. Okay, enough of the cheesy voices. We actually need to flip some coins for this one. And we are getting 4 heads versus 3 tails. That's the second time that the coin has picked the Jets. I am so not looking forward to this game and doing this again. It's definitely not going to go well for either team. And please let this one end in a tie for all the funny goodness. It has to end in a tie because we need the funny memes. Maybe Mike McDaniel will get the axe if he ties with the Jets. And just because there's a doubleheader this week, we get the other Monday Night Football game between the Bengals and the Broncos. I wonder if they're actually going to do this properly. It looks as if they're actually giving them start times close to each other. So, Jake Browning, what the heck was that performance? You were supposed to be this reliable backup for the Bengals. Did you suddenly regress you too? I wonder how this is going to go for him. Well, unless Jamar Chase is able to carry that offense on his back while Joe Burrow is hurt, you're more than likely going to fall apart to the Broncos. You better hope that Jamar Chase plays lights out against them, against that defense, or else you're going to be out of luck and Lowell Bungle starts back up again. Whoop-de-doo, Zach Taylor. Get ready to learn that your coaching job is on the line. And that's the official list of predictions for week 4. Hopefully this time around, these picks won't age as poorly as, well, last week's predictions. Because nothing makes sense. Nothing absolutely makes sense. Maybe this will actually age better than that take about animes on prom nights. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in, and until next time, travel safely.